So Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules is speaking out for the very first time in an exclusive interview with Howie Mandel. And Howie Mandel is receiving a lot of backlash for some of or his lack of knowledge of Vanderpump Rules. We have to talk about my reaction to the interview. We have to talk about some of what came out from the interview and how exactly is he spilling all of these details before it even plays out on Vanderpump Rules. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So I wasn't sure if I was going to even talk about this conversation, this interview that Howie Mandel conducted on his podcast with Vanderpump Rules star Tom Sandoval. As you know, Tom hasn't really spoken out. He did that weird conversation with paparazzi, but he hasn't spoken out. And there have been a lot of people speaking out. The only part of this interview that I might agree with him on is that the little other stars, Lala, Sheena, Jax, Kristen, all of them are trying to capture their 15 minutes of fame from this scandal. As you know, Howie Mandel is not a fan of Vanderpump Rules. He doesn't really know anything about Vanderpump Rules. You know, I wouldn't say I don't know anything. I probably definitely knew way more than Howie Mandel, even before watching, the previous seasons. As you know, I'm in the middle of watching the old seasons. But a lot of you have been giving me cliff notes. A lot of the biggest stories that have come out from this show I've known because I cover pop culture. So I know the stories. I may not report on everything. I don't think Howie did a terrible job because he literally had his daughter there who is a big fan. So she can help guide, although she did drop the ball a couple of moments during this conversation. Tom Sandoval felt like this was a safe space because, as you know, Tom Sandoval's band, there are two people within, that are connected to Tom Sandoval that are directly connected to Howie Mandel. And that's how Howie got this interview. Howie doesn't understand why this is such a big deal. However, there are a large amount of you guys that are Vanderpump Rules fans that feel like, I don't understand why people are making the big scandal of it all, of this whole situation." We also understand that Bravo is directly invested. The production company Evolution is directly invested. Andy Cohen, even though he says he's not a producer, all of these people are directly invested. This is why they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to," a lot of you Vanderpump Rules fans have said the show was really on its way out this last season. And this has sort of reignited people's interest in this show. It's even got people like me that don't even cover the show watching the old seasons. However, after I watch the old seasons, will I still be interested in a season 11? We shall see. We shall see. I can see why people loved it from years ago, but will I still love it for season 11? So, as I said to you at the top of this video, I'm really shocked that Tom Sandoval is even able to speak as candidly as he was trying to speak. And I'm saying candidly, candidly for him. Do I believe anything that's coming out of his mouth? No. Him trying to break up with Ariana in therapy, him trying to make Ariana seem like she just wasn't accepting of the relationship. And I know a lot of you that have been in similar situations where the other party that has cheated will make it out to be that, well, you didn't want to break up. You didn't accept us breaking up. He says that they had broken up 2 weeks before the Scandoval situation even was revealed. So her finding that video, according to him, they were already broken up. He says, "Oh, she pulled me over when fans wanted to take a picture and she gave me a kiss even though she knew at that moment we weren't together." I can't wait to hear Ariana's side, to be honest with you. Do I believe that this relationship may have been on its way out? Yeah. They've been together for a very long time, but because I'm watching the downfall of his relationship with Kristen, I've said this before during our Vanderpump Rules recaps of season 10, that I feel as if he would have stayed in this relationship and cheated the same way that he did with Kristen. He doesn't have the emotional maturity to be like, it's done, we're over, it is not working. But also, the way that he was talking about, we have a brand, we have, all these business together. Yes. I think that's part of the reason why he didn't leave. He didn't leave because she wasn't accepting of it. He didn't leave because of, we were trying in therapy and I already knew that it was over. I was going to break up with her in therapy. No. Tom Sandoval doesn't have the emotional maturity to say, I'm done. I have to move on. I'm in love with someone else. For Howie Mandel, and I know what the fans were frustrated with, is the reason why this situation is a little bit different in regards to some of the past cheating that we've seen on Vanderpump Rules, is because we literally have two people that were best friends. But then when you think about the whole situation with Jax, Kristen, Stassi, and Tom Sandoval, it's a little similar. It's a little similar. But these two best friends, Rachel and Ariana, Ariana really has taken her under her wing, after her breakup with James Kennedy. So I think that's part of the reason. I don't think there's much of a difference than what we've seen from these casts of characters over the years. Do I agree with the vitriol that we see of people threatening people's lives, people, threatening violence against, Tom Sandoval or Rachel? No. As you know, if you're part of our community, you already know we don't go like that. Will we be like Tom is trash? Yeah. We will say Rachel is trash. Yeah. But we will also say Lala, you're trash. Sheena, you're trash. You guys have no room to talk. That's our community. But we also understand outside the Bravo world. Sidebar. Did you guys hear Bravo's going to Las Vegas for BravoCon? No promises that I will be there. We shall see. No, no, I can't even think about November. I'm thinking about my trips in the next couple of months. I can't think about November. But for those that didn't know, BravoCon is coming November 3rd to the 5th to Las Vegas. Word on the street is that they didn't want to pay the money here in New York City for at the Javits Center, which I can understand. Maybe it would be better in Vegas. At least we know it'll be cheaper, and it's going to be later in the year. Again, another reason why I'm like, no promises. You already know, guys. I love my Christmas trips. I don't know if I'm. Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. Back to this. So he talks about his first intimate moment with Rachel. He talks about therapy with Ariana. He talks about how, at one point she wanted, even though everything had been over with, she's talking about, fertilizing eggs. You guys have told me countless times that Ariana has said on the show she doesn't want to have children, she doesn't want to get married. So you already kind of knew that they both weren't on the same page with that. A lot of you that can see both sides of the situation, you twerk on the fence like me, you can be like, okay, I can see where this relationship was falling apart. And where a lot of relationships go wrong is that people do not end them. They will cheat on each other endlessly. However, Ariana didn't cheat on Tom. Tom, who has done this before, who has a history of cheating, and I know Ariana got with him allegedly. I don't know if it's alleged because apparently they did hook up. I saw that those seasons they did hook up while he was still in a relationship with Kristen. Regardless, 9 years later, they have this big, fabulous home. He really tried to make himself seem very innocent. Even with him saying, "Oh, I'm not condoning my behavior." He really, in this interview, and I can see from everyone's reactions, can are feeling as if he really dogged Ariana. Her character, she refused to accept that we weren't going to be together. She said, if I break up with you, she threatened, she said, I can't see myself living. And then he also said she threatened to quit the show, not to attend the reunion, and not start the sandwich shop. If that is true, is the sandwich shop just something for television? Some of you are like, well, we already knew it was something for television. Maybe, maybe not. But he says that she said all these things, and then he, as the hero, he really made himself to be the hero. I'm the one who really is sort of like who goes to the. I show up as the person that represents me and Ariana for our friends, to see our friends turn on us. He says I'm the one who said we should go to therapy. But when she threatened to, if he broke up with her, that she would quit the show, not attend the reunion. He's like, I called our showrunner and I said, everyone else, Schwartz and Katie show their divorce. Everyone shows their stuff, and she doesn't want to show what we're going through. He did the duty, the gentleman duty of going to the producer. We need to show our truth. I wonder if him showing his truth really had more to do with I want to be able to, live my truth with Rachel or whatever. I don't believe it. I'm tired of these reality stars. We were just talking about this with Latasha Scott in the Escape reality show. I'm tired of these celebrities really believing that the audience is stupid. Yeah, and literally, if you watch this interview, and yes, luckily I am on vacation. I had a moment. I said, while I lay down, I'm gonna listen to this interview. And I listened and I watched because I watched the YouTube because I want to see body language. And his language was quite telling. His voice is annoying, so I'm kind of glad I didn't just have that to, listen to because Tom Sandoval's voice, I don't get it. He even shaves off his mustaches. I think that's probably the best part of this interview that he shaved that off because a lot of you hated it too. My biggest question, because there are so many questions that Howie Mandel, I wish he would, but he's a different type of interviewer. There are just certain things I wish there was a follow up to some of what Tom Sandoval was saying in regards to the timeline and things like that. At no point during this conversation did he say to Howie, I can't say too much, because this is still playing out. They did ask him whether or not he was going to return for another season. He says he's not contractually obligated to return. I d- this narcissist, he knows that right now the ratings are up. He knows that they're going to want him to come back to answer to all of his friends. He knows what this can mean for him when it comes to his restaurant, what this can mean for him when it comes to his cover band. His cover band, they're not hurting. The restaurant, it may hurt for a little bit. They're not hurting. This show is not hurting. So many people are making a bag off of this situation. And as I said to you before, the only part of what he said that I can agree with is the Lala, the Sheena, Jax, all these people that are trying to gain relevancy right now off of this situation that involves these three individuals, more specifically Ariana and Tom. Did I feel like we gained any truth from the situation? No. If anything, it confirmed why people do not like you, Tom. But again, I don't feel like that justifies people threatening your life or, physically harming you. Not that that's happened or threatened that. Um, so not that I gained anything from this. If anything, he's lucky it was a slow day for me that I even listened to it. But I did see a lot of your reaction on social media, and I said, all right, I have a little bit of moment during my vacation to make this video and tell you guys my thoughts on it. One of the other questions, every time I see Tom Sandoval, there's a rumor on the street that he has a bad body odor. So I'm always wondering, because Howie Mandel is a germaphobe. I'm thinking to myself, Howie, does he smell? Does he smell Howie? I just want to know. He probably took a shower that day. He did say, after this all broke out, he had some mental health struggles. He's been sober for 4 days. He's getting a lot of clarity. His relationship with Rachel, is on a break right now. Okay. Conveniently, that's not going to be a real thing. If it ends up being a relationship, it's because he's ready to move on. This is how he moves on. He moves on, he cheats on the person he's with, and then he gets into a relationship with them. And I just feel like this is going to be his story for the rest of his life. It's sad, it's pitiful, but at least we can learn from his mistakes. Guys, did you watch the interview? Did you listen to the interview? What was your reaction? What were some of the things that stood out to you? I know a lot of you are reacting to some of the narcissism that you're seeing, just the lack of ownership, the trying to make Ariana seem like she's crazy. At this point now, I just really want to see the reunion, and I also want to see. I want to see an interview with Ariana because you have to remember this this reunion is going to be edited, so there's going to be a lot that we're not going to see. Although Andy says that Peacock may be streaming just some additional moments from the Vanderpump Rules reunion. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about and react to, because it was over an hour long conversation, and a lot of it was, again, him trying to not justify, but almost justify, but it's saying, but I'm not condoning. But then give excuses. Oh, the relationship had been over. We were in therapy. It wasn't working. That she's asking to fertilize eggs, and I was having this really. We were living separate lives. He says, he claims we were living separate lives. I went to Miami. She didn't even, in a normal relationship, you would check in with your person. He said I was FaceTiming all the time with Raquel. I was, spending a lot of time with Raquel. We were living separate lives. This is his excuse. But they did not. And he has not given any update in regards to what they're going to do with this house. Right now, they are still cohabitating in this house together. And they are moving. I guess they're texting with an intermediary in regards to, oh, I'm going to use the gym. They have a beautiful house. Whatever they've been doing together as a brand, they are doing very well. I think even better than everyone on the cast. They have this big, beautiful house, but they have not put it on the market. Not sure what exactly they plan to do. Are they are waiting so that this can all play out for season 11? It sounds as if Ariana and Tom stayed in this relationship for their own business purposes. I believe that is true. But I do believe that there was love because you spent how many years together? But this relationship may have been already on its way out, but no one really pulled the trigger. And instead of pulling the trigger and saying, this is done, we need to move forward and take the steps to move forward and separate our assets, he decided to cheat. Guys, let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I want to know your reaction to this interview, what you thought about it, what stood out to you the most, what did I not talk about that you want to talk more about. We will be doing our Vanderpump Rules episode recap at some point this week, so stay tuned for that. I'm sure you will have plenty of thoughts in regards to the episode. We have a lot more to go. I think the season finale is May 17th for Vanderpump Rules, and then a 3-part reunion. We're going to talk about that and so much more. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the light, I got the fuse. You make